A total rebuild of the former Alpine Motel Apartments. That building, constructed in the 70s, went up in flames 3 years ago this week, claiming the lives of 6 people. Now, as Fox 5's Drew Andre reports, there are new owners and a new vision for the downtown apartment.
Well, the investors purchased this property last year and essentially started from scratch. Now, the city has done over 60 inspections of this site just since March of this year, and people will be moving in soon. The beat-up Alpine Motel Apartment sign and remnants of the devastating fire are no more on 9th Street near Stewart. The rebranded Deluxe Lofts has art on the side of the building and all new features.
It's really a brand new spot, top to bottom.
Before investors put a few $1 million into the renovations, crews already gutted the building down to the studs. And Robin Willett from the real estate investment firm Northcap says the fire didn't compromise the building structure, so it allowed them to keep the frame but still start from scratch.
So it was truly a blank canvas.
All new utilities, windows, roof, and flooring is now complete. And modern updates like a video intercom system and Bluetooth door locks for the studio apartments. The vision is to be a part of the improvements in revitalization downtown and cater to a younger crowd.
We figured the age demographic would probably fall primarily with renters in their 20s to 30s that are a little bit more into tech. This is mostly a walkable site, which again, proximity is really big.
The December 2019 fire started from an unattended stovetop left on because a tenant had no heat. There were missing smoke alarms and a bolted exit door at the time. Investigators cited more than 40 code violations after the deadly fire. It's since led to changes in monitoring older, long-term motels in Las Vegas, now requiring stricter inspections and updates. The City of Las Vegas Building and Safety has been out to the former Alpine Apartments 65 times since March, and fire inspectors have done 6 inspections. There have been no code violations.
We received a full new state-of-the-art fire sprinkler system that is in the interior hallways and in each of the rooms.
Willett says rent will be going for about $1,150 to $1,350 a month for these studios, and tenants will be moving in about the next 60 days. Reporting downtown, I'm Drew Andre, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
The building's former owner, Adolfo Orozco, faces criminal charges, including involuntary manslaughter. There are also pending civil lawsuits related to that December 2019 fire.